I need you to tough it out. My name is Michael Patrick McKinley, and I'm making this video today because I have a story to share. I was overweight. I was relatively smart. I wore glasses. And I was very obviously gay. This, of course, is the perfect list of ingredients for a child to get bullied. Getting beat up after school wasn't something that just happened to me once or twice, or even occasionally. Getting pushed down, getting beat on the head with my books, getting thrown into ditches, and getting wedgies was a regular part of my childhood. I remember I had these two girlfriends, Teresa and Mandy, and they used to beat up the boys who beat me up. I would come home from school and I would go to my room and I would just cry and cry and cry. Ah, grade school. Good times. Good times. It gets worse though. Then I went to junior high. By the time I got to junior high school, it seemed pointless to fake it, let alone deny it. So I did open up to a few friends and told them I was gay. One day in 8th grade, just before my 14th birthday, I came home from school and I found my mother waiting for me with a note in her hand. She'd been snooping through my things and found a note that I had written but never given to a boy I had a crush on. I won't deny it, guys. It was a bad scene. It was pretty bad. She'd let me know under no certain terms that she didn't approve, that she had suspected it all along but didn't want to believe it was true, that she believed in her heart that I was going to go to hell. So I ran away from home. I was San Francisco bound for 2 days when a California Highway Patrol officer picked me up on the side of the road, badly dehydrated and starving to death. What I thought I was going to find when I got to San Francisco, I'm not really sure, but I did know that at that moment, at that point, I wasn't above selling myself on the street. And I know that that's a position that a lot of kids think that is the only choice for them. But I gotta tell you, it gets better. Oh, but first it's gonna get a whole lot worse. Well, I went home and my mother and I managed to patch things up for the time being, but it was still not a very good situation. And then I had the joy of starting high school. Oh yeah, it's gonna get worse. Most people would be surprised to know that I only have 9 weeks of high school. And I only have 9 weeks of high school because by the time I got to high school, I was rather flamboyant, rather in your face about who I was, not really caring a whole lot about what people thought about me, feeling pretty rebellious. I had gotten away with this in junior high school where I was a relatively big fish in a small pond, but high school was an entirely different story. And my reception my freshman year was a little bit rougher, you would say, than most kids get. Some kids get shoved into lockers. I got death threats in mine. I was really, really, really scared. So I went into the principal's office and I told him to call my mother immediately. She left work, she came down to the school, and I told the two of them, I know I have options, and I did. I was really fortunate that even in this little town I grew up in, there were 2 continuation schools for all the misfit kids who didn't fit in anywhere else. And I let them know under no uncertain terms that after 9 years of being tortured every day at school, I was done with all of it. And that after that day, I wouldn't be stepping foot on campus anymore. Now, I realized that I was in a fortunate position that I could do that, and not all kids are. But I have to tell you, from that day forward, it started getting better. You know, it's really hard to imagine at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old even, that once you get out of the house and you move out on your own, that your life will improve. Because for starters, it seems like you're never going to turn 18. But you do, and eventually you get to be almost 40, like me. So if you're considering doing something rash, I would like for you first to consider a few things that I have to tell you. I'm sharing my story with you today because I want you to know that if I can survive all that I have survived, and this unfortunate hairstyle, you can too. I say all of this to say, and I share my story with you today, because I want to let you know that it really gets better. In this world that once seemed so incredibly bleak to me, that seemed so incredibly sad, I have experienced so much love. Listen, I guarantee you that once you get out into the world and you start making a family of your own, outside of the family that you were born into, that they will wrap their arms around you and show you so much love. I promise you that not only does it get better, but this life can be as beautiful as you want it to be. I could not possibly be more comfortable in my own skin or happier with the life that I have been given. Being a gay man is pretty cool. That's right, I said it. It's cool. So, how did it all turn out? Well, I grew up to be a relatively well-adjusted person. I eventually got my GED and then went on to college and became an interior designer. And I got the opportunity to not only love so many people, but be so loved in a way that I could have never imagined when I was 15 years old. And eventually my mother, who had been so vehemently opposed to my depraved lifestyle, became my biggest advocate. She came to bat for me more times than I could count. She even quit a job once when her boss was making gay jokes that weren't very funny. She told the woman, "My son is gay and I am very proud of him, and I don't appreciate that kind of language in the office." And she walked out the door. And of course she ran home and she called me from 2,000 miles away. I think she was proud of herself. So just in case your parents are all up in your business and giving you grief right now, just know that sometimes their opinions change. They love you. Even if they don't understand you right now, they love you. So here's what I need you to do. That's right, I need you. I need you to hang in there and tough it out. I need you to remember that you're bigger than the bullies. I would like to think that in my lifetime, that there will be an end to the intolerance, to the bigotry, and to the hatred that is taught to children that gives them permission to treat other children the way that they do. But I can't guarantee that, and that's actually why I need you most of all to be strong and to be brave. Because if I don't see it happen in my generation, I know it will be yours that overcomes it. That it will be your children, because yes, you could end up with children of your own. Your children will teach the world a different example. And finally, if these are words that you have not heard for a while, then I'm going to let you know right now that even though I don't know you, I've been there where you are. And I love you. I need you to hang in there and tough it out, because it really does get better.